Welcome to this very special video, a video to celebrate the 1000 subscribers of the channel. A video to thank you for being here, thank you for having subscribed to the channel, for watching the video. I know there is still a lot to do, and there is certainly some improvements which can be done on many levels, but you are there, and I hope it means you appreciate what I've been doing so far, and you will be still there for the upcoming video. And in order to thank you for your presence, for your participation to the channel, I thought about doing a special video. Usually when we reach a symbolic number of subscribers, what most of the people do, it's a Q&A video, but as you may have noticed, I don't like to do like anybody else. I like to do things a bit differently. So in my case, with this video, I will propose you some extracts, some video from films which are what the fuck film, which are insane, crazy, this kind of stuff, so that you can have a good laugh. Because I know that on my channel it's usually fairly serious. I'm not really doing many jokes and stuff like that. I'm not in this style, so I think that's an opportunity here to have a laugh together with some films, some of them fairly known if you are already an Asian film fan, and some of them less known. So we will see, but at least we should have some good time all together. Once again, in order to celebrate the 1000 subscribers and to thank you for being here. Before I start the different extracts I want to show you, I also want to remind you that if you appreciate the channel, if you like what I'm doing, and if you want to participate in the growth of the channel, there is a utip and a tipeee. So utip, you watch a commercial and I get a little amount of money for your effort, for the time you have willingly spared watching this commercial. And tipeee, where you can directly give some money if you want to, if you appreciate the work which has been made for this video, if you appreciate the efforts, the time, everything, then you can participate. You can show your appreciation by giving as much money as you want. It's really up to you. Any participation will be, of course, welcome and appreciated. And of course, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. That's really up to you. Any other way to show your support and appreciation will be also very much welcome. So that's it, and now we will start with different extracts I want to show you. And as you have noticed, I'm very into Hong Kong cinema, and one of the things I like in Hong Kong cinema is, especially when it comes to the 80s, 90s, is the many guailos, or the westerners, which are present, which were used in Hong Kong films back then. And some of them can be really bad, and I think one of the worst when it comes to performance, to acting performance, is the guy playing the main bad guy, the boss of the bad guys in Lo Kar Leung's Tiger on the Beat. Tiger on the Beat is a great film. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. But this guy, my God, is like the worst actor ever. So if you are not aware of him, here are his performances for your appreciation.
What's this shit? Wendy, you tell them everything.
Yes, boss.
From now on, you better be careful and don't get my ass burned, man.
My God, that was so bad. But for his defense, it seems like he was not a professional actor, and he was just someone who wanted to study Kung Fu under Lo Kar Leung, and who ended up being in the film. It seems also like he was dubbed. I don't think that's his real voice there, so that certainly didn't help. But anyway, that's a very bad performance for a very fun film, though. Tiger on the Beat, check it if you haven't yet. Now we are going to move to a crazy film, which is a part of what we call the Bruceploitation. So when producers in the 70s were trying to jump on the bandwagon of the Bruce Lee craze and having some lookalike playing either Bruce Lee or somebody who is very similar to Bruce Lee, or somebody who is supposed to be the characters he was playing in films like The Big Boss or Fist of Fury, this kind of stuff. Or Game of Death, that was often a Game of Death. And the one I'm going to show you is a very weird animal which was produced in the US. It's called Fist of Fear, Touch of Death, and it's a mix of scenes being shot in New York with some fairly known actors like Fred Williamson, with Ron Van Cliff, and they have made up a completely crazy story around Bruce Lee, and they have also used some image from the film he did when he was a teenager in Hong Kong, and they have completely changed the dubbing to fit their own agenda. It's a complete mess, completely out of this world. And so here is an extract of this film, Fist of Fear, Touch of Death.
To my right, one of the key organizers of the event, Aaron Banks, who earlier in the week created great controversy with his startling new remarks about the death of Bruce Lee. Aaron, I wonder if you'd mind repeating some of your remarks for our TV audience.
Well, I believe Bruce Lee was murdered by something called the touch of death or the vibrating palm. This is where a person can touch somebody in a particular area of their body in a way that can reverse or change the normal bodily functions. The result is that within 3 or 4 weeks, the person will drop dead.
So somebody was out to get Bruce?
I think so. Perhaps he just was revealing too much of the Chinese martial arts. You know, like taking the mystery out of it all.
The secret of karate is power. Internal power from the id.
This was the scene 1 year ago, Madison Square Garden, World Karate Championships. Black belt champion Bill Louis is maneuvering for position against his opponent. And then suddenly, he grabs for the eyes and twists violently, ripping them out from the sockets and, in a dazzling piece of showmanship, tossing them to the crowd.
You must realize that 90% of the martial arts is mental agility, and that your body is a weapon that can kill a man. Therefore, you must use this mental power to control your actions.
So you're saying that the mind must be trained and conditioned as well as the body?
The mind must be cultivated so you can eventually know yourself.
Well, how do you cultivate your mind?
Mental exercises.
Such as what?
Yoga. And even Zen. Meditation helps.
Then you're performing almost a sort of self-hypnosis.
You make it sound so mysterious and elusive. But it's really not like that at all.
Yeah, that's really the Bruceploitation at its worst. But anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, you can dig deeper. There are many films in the Bruceploitation genre which are completely insane. So don't hesitate to dig deeper if you like that. Personally, I really enjoy Bruceploitation. I think it's an insane subgenre. It makes no sense, but it's a lot of fun. Of course, it's extremely bad taste as well. Now we are going to move to India, which is fairly famous for the insanity of the action scenes when they want. I just want to precise first that often India is described as batshit crazy when it comes to action scenes and stuff like that. There are certainly a lot of Indian films which are, but that's not always the case. Let's not assume and let's not believe that India is only producing this kind of crazy, stupid stuff. They also do a lot of very good films, so let's not be too judgmental there. But when they do this kind of insane action film, they do really, they go full throttle, and that's certainly the case on this film I'm going to show you, which is called Singham 3, which is a fairly recent film made in 2017. And I'm just going to show you the very introduction of the main character. It's really at the very beginning of the film. My extract is like 3 minutes long, and it's just part of the first 5 minutes of the film. So that's basically how the film opens, how the film starts, and you will see it's already pretty intense.
ఏపీ పోలీస్ కాళ్ళ కట్టేశాకో ఆంధ్రావాణ్ణి కాదురా ఇండియన్
Do you feel tired after watching this extract? I can tell you, if you watch the whole film, it's basically like this almost all the time. It's even more intense during the action scenes, but the rest of the film is almost always like this. So it's hysterical, it's hectic, it's insane. I don't know how you can stand such a speed in the editing, in such crazy camera moves. In a way, it's quite impressive, but it's really hard to swallow. It feels a bit, you are really exhausted after watching a film like that. The only films which I can compete with Singam 3 are Turkish film from the end of the 70s, early 80s, with Köynet Atkin, who was an action star, a Turkish action star, and who are also completely insane when it comes to the editing, and which are also extremely exhausting if you watch the whole thing. But there are certainly something. I mean, if you like to look for curiosity, weird stuff, you can also check some of those Turkish films. They are completely insane. Now we are going to move to a neighbor of India, which is Bangladesh. Bangladesh also has a film industry, and they produced what is called a Bangla King Kong, which, as the title says, is the Bangladeshi version of King Kong. And here I'm going to propose you the trailer for the film.
Sumona Osman Alif Oman Ibedito, Sharmin Osman Projojito, Everest Films Puribeshito, Bisho Kapano Chobi, Iftekhar Jahan Porichalito, Banglar King Kong. ছুটে চলে যাই হারিয়ে অচে অজানা নীল সাগরে ভেসে ভেসে খুশির মোহনা কিং কং কিং কং আমার বোন নীলা তোমার বোন আমায় দিলা ফাটাফাটি ভালোবাসা বুকের ভিতর বাঁধিলা শারমিন ওসমান প্রযোজিত এভারেস্ট ফিল্মস পরিবেশিত ইফতেখার জাহান পরিচালিত বাংলার কিং কং, বাংলার কিং কং।
Let's get back to something a bit more acceptable. Let's get back to something a bit less insane than those films. And we go back to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, it's a bit my bread and butter. And we will explore the exploitation of a very famous video game, Japanese video game, Street Fighter 2, in Wongting Future Cops.
出嚟啦！匿埋有用。
將軍，
講啦，點解唔講落去啊？
對付你呢啲咁嘅人，只係得一種辦法，就係夾月。
食埋早餐先至嚟啊！
青面佬，
今次齊人啦，怕電㗎，我都驚電㗎。俾我開火先！喂，哎呀！
So you recognize Richard playing Blanca, you recognize Ken Lo playing Bison, so all those famous Street Fighter 2 characters who are played here by famous actors at the time. You have Andy Lo playing Vega, you have Simon Yam playing Dalsim, Jackie Chung playing some kind of version of Guile. So all these actors playing Street Fighter 2 characters in a completely Wong Jing style universe. Don't expect anything serious about Street Fighter 2. It's just a batshit crazy comedy, which is actually pretty fun. I mean, it's one of the funniest Wong Jing comedy, but we have with this kind of crazy use of the famous Capcom video game license. Around the same time as Future Cops, Hong Kong also produced The Cat. The Cat, officially directed by Lam Nam Choi. In reality, there are some other people who were involved behind the scene. And The Cat, which is a science fiction film, so Hong Kong didn't produce many science fiction films, and when they did, that was usually not for the greatest result, as you will see with this The Cat, in which you have an amazing action scene, kung fu style action scene, between a dog and a cat who actually is an extraterrestrial general. And we will finish this special video with the ultimate bad taste when it comes to exploitation. Either it's a film which is extremely progressive, either it's just the most bad taste thing you can ever produce. It's called Cripple Masters. Cripple Masters, a kung fu film from the end of the 70s, in which we have armless martial artist uniting with a legless martial artist in order to fight an evil hunchback. So completely insane, because the actors being used there are really armless and legless, and so you have what the fuck out of this world action scenes, because behind the scene you have some real action directors and there is a real choreography, and that makes for something which will blow your mind.
Are filled with a big difference. The strength of their missing limbs is transferred to their bodies to make them totally invincible. They become the Crippled Masters. The story of two young men who are cut off in their prime. They seek revenge, but they're handicapped by their limited knowledge of Kung Fu, never by their will. The Crippled Masters. Life wasn't easy, but they never expected it to be. And then there are the so-called normal people. It is hell in the crippled heaven.
is. There. Why don't you get it? Huh? Come on. Don't hit me.
The crippled master, up against impossible odds. The crippled masters are not to be stopped. They train themselves to become the real masters.
Help me! Come quickly!
The Crippled Masters. They are Frank Shum and Jack Conn. Featuring also the Yoga Grandmaster Ho. You'll see it all in The Crippled Masters. Coming soon to this theater.
I think that was enough for one video, enough craziness. I hope you had a good laugh watching those different extracts from these films. If you like this kind of format, maybe I can do it again. There are certainly much more which can be digged in order to have some other video with the most batshit crazy film, the most ridiculous, so that we can all have a good laugh. But anyway, once again, I want to thank you for being here, for having subscribed, for watching the video. Don't hesitate to interact, don't hesitate to comment, don't hesitate to ask questions. It's always a pleasure. That's the goal of this channel, to have a community in which we can exchange, in which we can discuss about Asian cinema, about Asian culture, all the things that we like. And I hope I will continue to produce video you will find interesting for the coming months and years. Thanks again, and hope to see you soon on the House of Asian Cinema.